Hi guys, welcome to DerinsCorner. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my tofu fried rice. This fried rice is made using tofu and other plant-based ingredients. So all the things I've used in this recipe are strictly plant-based, and so this is actually ideal for vegans and of course vegetarians. But before we get to the recipe, kindly click on the subscribe button if you're yet to subscribe. Also click on the bell sign so you get notified when I have new videos up. So let's go to the recipe. So the first thing you're going to need will be the extra firm tofu, and make sure the tofu is extra firm. And so you're going to press your tofu. Usually you can use a press, but I'm going to be using a modified version. I'm going to be using a tin, and I'll be pressing the tofu down to extract the water. I'm going to leave that tin on the tofu for 20 minutes. Thereafter, I'm going to be cutting my tofu into tiny bits, and just to make sure it's finely cut. And then of course I'm going to be seasoning my tofu. Because tofu actually has a bland taste, you really want to season your tofu so you bring out the flavor. So I'm using my Suya Spice for the seasoning of my tofu. So I'm just going to coat the tofu with the Suya Spice, and then of course I'll be spreading my tofu on my baking tray, and I'll be baking this at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. While my tofu is baking, I'm going to be washing my rice. I'm using 2 cups of rice for this recipe. And then, of course, you just want to wash your rice to remove the excess starch. And then, of course, you're going to put your rice to boil. For me, because I'm going to be making the fried rice, I'm going to be adding salt, and of course I'll be adding my curry powder and a little bit of turmeric also into my fried rice. And then of course I'm going to be cooking this and allowing it to boil to a little bit of it's not going to, you don't want to overcook your rice, just to make it a little bit firm. And then for my fried rice, I'm using mushrooms, I'm using red bell peppers and onions, and of course I'm going to be using my mixed greens, which is made of carrots, green beans, peas, my sweet corn, and that's the mixed greens I'm using. And then of course after the 30 minutes my tofu is ready. You can see the texture and the consistency of the tofu, and of course this is also going to be added into the fried rice. The next thing I'll be doing would be to put my wok on my gas stove at medium to low heat, and then I'm going to be adding in my oil into the wok. You can use any oil of your choice. I'm using canola oil for this recipe. And then I'm going to be adding my seasoning cube. I'm using the vegetable seasoning cube. Like I mentioned, this is strictly plant-based, so I'm using my seasoning cube that is made from vegetables into my oil, which is on in my wok on the gas stove. And then of course I'm going to be stirring this, and the essence of this is just to extract the flavor from the seasoning cube. And then I'll be adding in my curry powder, my thyme, and any other seasoning of your preference that you'd really like to add into your fried rice. You can add it at this stage. And like I mentioned, it's just to extract the flavor from the spices into the oil, so that your fried rice will be much more flavorable. So for this recipe, I've used curry powder, thyme powder, and poultry seasoning into the oil. And then I'll be adding in my onions and my red bell peppers, as well as my mushrooms. The mushroom is actually optional. If you don't like mushrooms, you can skip that. But for me, I'm adding mushrooms into this recipe, and I love mushrooms. It adds flavor to my fried rice, and of course it's also very nutritious. And so you're just going to try as much as possible to mix this gently in the wok. And then of course you add your mixed greens also into the veggie mixture stove, and you just stir this gently, and your gas stove should be placed between the medium and low heat. And then the next thing I'll be adding would be my tofu that's been grilled and seasoned, and I'll just add this gently and stir the mixture gently in the wok. Thereafter, I will be adding in my cooked rice. And you're just going to add the rice gently into the wok and flip it over. You don't want to overwork the rice, just gently flip so that the veggie in the wok is going to mix adequately with the rice that you're just adding into it. So just turn it over gently and place your gas stove now on low heat at this stage, and then just continue mixing it gently into the rice. And once you mix for a period of some time, and then you can also lift up the wok and gently toss it around if you have a very large wok that you're going to be working with. And that's it. Your tofu fried rice is ready, and this is very nutritious, and it's also something different than normal fried rice, and it's actually ideal for vegans and vegetarians. If you love this recipe, kindly give me a thumbs up, and please share as much as you can. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly do so now. Thank you and have a great day.